as actor Jonathan Majors berates his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari.
Do you really know, baby? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house?
Love doesn't follow rules, especially in Hollywood, where sparks fly beyond color lines. While the spotlight often shines on talent and fame, fans can't help but notice who their favorite stars choose to love. From longtime marriages to whirlwind romances, here are 20 black actors who have openly embraced relationships with white women. 1. Eddie Murphy.
He loved it, yeah.
Being the great romantic man that he is, what did he say?
He's very romantic.
Or do you need to say it now?
Eddie Murphy stepped into a relationship with Paige Butcher years ago, and the two have built something solid over time. Paige comes from Australia, and they've had children together while showing up at film premieres and charity functions as a unit. Entertainment outlets have tracked their family moments, from pregnancy announcements to celebrating birthdays. When Murphy does press rounds for movies like Coming to America or Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F., questions about home life sometimes come up, and he's been open about how fatherhood has shaped him across different stages of his career. The couple got engaged, and their relationship has stayed steady even as Murphy's work schedule bounces between voice acting, comedy specials, and film projects. Paige has been photographed with him at industry gatherings, and their kids have occasionally appeared in family photos shared through media channels. Murphy's personal life doesn't dominate headlines the way his film roles do, but the relationship with Butcher has been a constant presence in his later years. They've managed to keep things low-key while still being visible enough that fans and reporters recognize them as a committed pair. Their dynamic reflects a quieter chapter for Murphy, who spent earlier decades in the spotlight for both his professional achievements and his personal choices. With Butcher, he's found a rhythm that allows him to focus on projects he cares about while maintaining a stable home environment. The relationship has been part of his story for over a decade now, and it continues to be noted whenever he makes public appearances or discusses what matters to him outside of acting. 2. Omari Hardwick.
Family shows that were family-oriented and a very warm and fuzzy, wrap it up with a nice bow at the end of it type of.
Omari Hardwick married Jennifer Fauch, and they've been raising children together while he's built a career in television and film. Fauch has been by his side at red carpet events connected to shows like Power, where Hardwick played a lead role for 6 seasons. The couple has been open about their relationship in ways that feel intentional but not overdone. Hardwick has talked about his wife in interviews, mentioning how marriage and parenting have influenced his approach to work and life. Their relationship has come up in broader discussions about his off-screen world, especially during the years when Power was at its peak, and Hardwick was fielding questions about his character and his real life. Fauch has been photographed with him at premieres and charity functions, and they've shared glimpses of their family on social media without making it the center of attention. Hardwick's public comments about his wife have touched on partnership and the challenges of balancing a demanding career with family responsibilities. The couple has faced public scrutiny at times, with their relationship becoming a topic of conversation online and in entertainment circles. Hardwick has addressed some of that attention directly, speaking about the importance of his marriage and the commitment they've made to each other. Fauch has also been visible in her own right, attending events and supporting Hardwick's projects while raising their kids. Their marriage has been part of his narrative as he's moved from Power to other roles in film and television, and it remains a steady element of his public identity. 3. Regé-Jean Page.
Very, very odd flip that happened. I'm still kind of learning how to navigate.
Regé-Jean Page has been linked to Emily Brown, and the two have been spotted together at various events and in everyday settings. After Page's breakout role in Bridgerton, his personal life drew more attention, and Brown became part of that story. They've been photographed at award ceremonies and industry gatherings, and coverage of his rising career often includes mentions of their relationship. Page has kept details about his private life to a minimum, but he and Brown have remained visible as a couple. Their appearances together have been casual enough to avoid heavy media focus, but consistent enough that outlets recognize them as a pair. Brown has been seen with him at events tied to his film and television work, and they've been photographed walking around cities or attending functions together. Page has said little about his personal life in interviews, preferring to keep the spotlight on his roles, but the relationship with Brown is noted whenever he's profiled or discussed in entertainment media. 4. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes looking like a 2018 version of Love and Basketball. ET has these exclusive pics of the pair hitting the gym.
Jamie Foxx was in a relationship with Katie Holmes that became one of the most talked about pairings in Hollywood after years of keeping it under wraps. The two were photographed together at events and during private outings, and their relationship was confirmed after a long stretch of speculation. They attended award shows and parties together, and their public appearances drew significant media coverage. Foxx and Holmes were reported to have split after attending events during a major awards weekend, and the breakup was covered widely in entertainment news. Foxx has worked across film, television, and music, and his personal life has often been a subject of interest alongside his professional achievements. The relationship with Holmes stood out because of the high-profile nature of both individuals and the way they handled public attention. They were seen at basketball games, art galleries, and industry functions, and photos of them together circulated regularly during the time they were together. Foxx has spoken about his approach to privacy in interviews, noting that he prefers to keep certain aspects of his life away from constant scrutiny. Holmes, known for her own acting career and previous high-profile marriage, brought additional media attention to the relationship. Foxx's dating history has been covered in tabloids and entertainment outlets, but his time with Holmes remains the most visible part of that narrative. He's continued to take on film roles like Just Mercy and Spider-Man, No Way Home, while maintaining a level of discretion about his personal life. The relationship with Holmes, though it ended, is still referenced when discussing Foxx's life outside of his work. 5. Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire.
Cuba Gooding Jr. married Sarah Kapfer, and they were together for more than 2 decades before separating. They share children, and their marriage was documented through public records and media coverage over the years. Gooding's family life has been mentioned during different phases of his career, from his Oscar-winning role in Jerry Maguire to his later work in television and film. The marriage was part of his public biography, and their separation was covered when it became official. Kapfer was with Gooding during some of the biggest moments of his career, and they were seen together at premieres and industry events. The couple's relationship history includes a long period before the marriage became public knowledge, and they raised their kids largely out of the spotlight. Gooding has faced legal and professional challenges in recent years, and his personal life has been part of the broader conversation about his career trajectory. The marriage to Kapfer remains a significant part of Gooding's story, even after their separation. She was a steady presence during the height of his fame, and their relationship spanned a period that included some of his most recognized roles. 6. Mike Colter and Iva Colter.
We didn't get paid. I didn't get paid for it. I mean, just being a singer and not getting paid for it doesn't really count.
Mike Colter is married to Iva Colter, and they've built a family together while he's worked on television and film projects. Iva has been with him through his role as Luke Cage in Luke Cage, and his appearances in The Defenders and other Marvel-related projects. The couple has been photographed at premieres and industry events, and Colter has mentioned his wife in interviews when discussing his career and personal life. They have children together, and their relationship has been part of his public identity as his profile has grown. Iva has been visible at events tied to Colter's work, and they've been seen together at charity functions and award shows. Coulter has spoken about how his family life influences his choices in roles and projects, and he's referenced his wife when talking about the balance between work and home. Their marriage has been steady and low-key, with occasional public appearances that keep them in the media eye without dominating headlines. 7. Donald Glover.
Ow! And she'd be like, I just had a dream where you were sleeping with another woman.
Donald Glover has been with Michelle White for years, and the couple has welcomed children together. Glover has mentioned his family in interviews while keeping most details private, and he's balanced acting with writing, directing, and music. He's occasionally referenced parenthood during press for projects like Atlanta and his film roles, and White has been part of his life through major career milestones. Their relationship has included joint public appearances at industry events, though they've kept a relatively low profile overall. White has been seen with Glover at award shows and premieres, and they've been photographed together during rare public outings. Glover has spoken about fatherhood in interviews, touching on how it's changed his perspective on work and creativity. He's kept his personal life separate from his public persona in many ways, but White and their children are part of the story when he chooses to share it. The couple's relationship has been long-term and stable, with Glover occasionally mentioning his partner and kids when discussing what drives him creatively. White has been supportive of his work across different mediums, and they've managed to keep their family life relatively private despite Glover's high profile. 8. Jesse Williams.
Maybe live tweeting,
We'll probably
Facebook
be
living all
on
day.
set,
Probably shooting.
Shooting,
Yes.
probably.
I like to pretend we get to be doing other things, but no, we'll be shooting.
We'll be shooting.
Jesse Williams dated Minka Kelly after his earlier marriage ended in divorce. The relationship drew attention because both have high-profile careers in television and film. Media outlets documented their joint outings and project-related appearances, and the relationship was covered alongside Williams' work on Grey's Anatomy and his activism. Kelly, known for her role in Friday Night Lights and other projects, brought additional media interest to the pairing. Williams and Kelly were photographed together at events and during private moments, and their relationship was discussed in entertainment news for the duration of their time together. Williams has been open about aspects of his personal life in interviews, and his dating history has been part of the broader conversation about his career and public presence. The relationship with Kelly was visible through paparazzi photos and social media posts, and it was noted in profiles about Williams during that period. The couple's relationship eventually ended, but it remains part of Williams's dating history. He's continued to work in television and film while also focusing on activism and directing. His personal life has been covered alongside his professional achievements, and the relationship with Kelly is referenced when discussing his life outside of acting. 9. Terrence Howard.
Oh, your family again. We're like old friends and family at the same time.
Terrence Howard's relationship history includes marriage to Lori McComas, and they have children together. He later had additional marriages and relationships that also drew media attention. Howard's personal life has been noted alongside his roles in films like Hustle and Flow and his work on the television series Empire. Public records and red carpet appearances have documented these family connections, and his relationships have been part of the conversation about his career. McComas was with Howard during earlier phases of his career, and their marriage was documented through public appearances and interviews. Howard has been open about his personal life in some contexts, discussing relationships and family in media conversations. His subsequent marriages and relationships have been covered in entertainment news, and his personal history has been part of profiles about him over the years. 10. Derek Luke.
My mom always raised me. She was like, Derek, I want you to find a woman that has purpose, and I want you to find a woman that loves God.
Derek Luke is married to Sophia Luke, and they've been together for years while he's built a career in film and television. Sophia has been with him through roles in movies like Antwon Fisher and Captain America, The First Avenger, and they've appeared together at premieres and industry events. The couple has been photographed at charity functions and award shows, and Derek has spoken about his wife in interviews when discussing his career and personal values. Their marriage has been steady and long-term, with Sophia supporting Derek's work across different projects. She's been visible at events tied to his roles, and they've been seen together at gatherings connected to the entertainment industry. Derek has referenced his marriage when talking about what keeps him grounded, and he's mentioned Sophia in discussions about faith, family, and career choices. The couple has maintained a relatively private life while still being present at public events. Sophia has been part of Derek's story as he's taken on diverse roles in film and television, and their relationship is noted in profiles and features about his career. They've managed to keep their family life out of the tabloid spotlight while still being recognized as a committed pair in the entertainment industry. 11. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon has built a large family over the years, and his relationships have drawn constant media attention because of how open he's been about fatherhood and co-parenting. One of his partners is Bray Tiesi, and they share a child together. Tiesi has appeared in entertainment coverage alongside Cannon, and their son has been part of the broader story about Cannon's expanding family. Birth announcements and family updates have been shared publicly, and Cannon has discussed his approach to parenting across multiple households during interviews and on his talk show. Cannon's career as a host, actor, and producer runs alongside frequent media interest in his personal life. He's been upfront about his beliefs regarding relationships and family structure, and he's spoken about co-parenting and his commitment to being present for all of his children. Tiesi has posted about their son on social media, and their dynamic has been covered in entertainment outlets that track celebrity families. Cannon's work on shows like The Masked Singer and Wild 'N Out often coincides with public conversations about his growing number of children and his relationships with their mothers. The relationship with Tiesi is one of several that Cannon has maintained while building his family. He's been photographed with his children at various events, and he's shared moments from his life as a father. Through social media and interviews, Cannon has addressed criticism and questions about his lifestyle choices, and he's been clear about his intentions to support all of his kids financially and emotionally. Tiesi has been part of that narrative, and their co-parenting arrangement has been discussed in the context of Cannon's overall approach to family. 12. Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs married Idina Menzel after they met during a stage production of Rent, and their relationship became one of the most recognized in theater and film circles. The two built a life together and had a child before eventually divorcing. Diggs and Menzel have remained committed to co-parenting, and they've appeared together at public events tied to their careers and their son's activities. Diggs has discussed co-parenting in interviews, and he's been open about the challenges and rewards of maintaining a positive relationship with his ex-wife. Menzel, known for her voice work in Frozen and her Broadway career, brought significant attention to the relationship during their marriage. Their son has been part of their story, and both have shared moments from their co-parenting journey through social media and public statements. The marriage to Menzel remains a consistent reference point in coverage of Diggs' personal life. He's talked about what he learned from the relationship and how it shaped his approach to parenting and partnership. Diggs has taken on roles in television shows like All American and in films like the Best Man series, and questions about his family life often come up during promotional interviews. He's been candid about the end of his marriage and the work required to maintain a healthy co-parenting dynamic. Diggs and Menzel have both moved on to other relationships, but their connection through their son keeps them linked in public perception. 13. Chris Ivory. Ellen Pompeo is married to Chris Ivory, and they've been together for years while she starred on Grey's Anatomy. Ivory, a music producer, has been a steady presence in Pompeo's life, and they share children together. The couple met in Los Angeles, and they've kept their relationship relatively private despite Pompeo's high-profile career. Ivory has appeared with Pompeo at select industry events, and they've been photographed together at premieres and award shows over the years. Pompeo has spoken about her marriage in interviews, mentioning how Ivory supports her career and how they balance family life with her demanding work schedule. She's been open about the challenges of maintaining a marriage while working long hours on a television series, and she's credited Ivory with being a partner who understands the entertainment industry. Their children have been part of the conversation when Pompeo discusses what matters most to her outside of acting, and she's shared glimpses of family life through interviews and occasional social media posts. The couple has been together through Pompeo's entire run on Grey's Anatomy, which has made Ivory part of the broader story about her career longevity. He's been with her during contract negotiations and public discussions about her role on the show, and their marriage has remained stable throughout different phases of her professional life. Pompeo has talked about how her relationship with Ivory has evolved over time, and she's been candid about the work required to keep a marriage strong while juggling career and family responsibilities. Ivory's work in music has kept him largely out of the spotlight, but he's been a constant in Pompeo's life as she's become one of the longest-running cast members on a primetime drama. The couple has attended charity events together, and they've been seen at industry gatherings connected to Pompeo's work. Their marriage is noted in features about Pompeo's career, and it remains a stable element of her public identity. 14. Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors was previously in a relationship with Grace Jabari, and their connection became widely known due to legal proceedings that followed their breakup. The relationship was documented extensively in court records and media coverage, with details about the timeline and nature of their involvement outlined in reports from major outlets. Public attention around the case brought significant scrutiny to Majors' personal life, and the relationship with Jabari became a focal point in discussions about his career and legal challenges. Jabari was with Majors during a period when his career was rising rapidly, with roles in films like Creed III and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the series Lovecraft Country. The legal proceedings drew intense media coverage, and the relationship history between Majors and Jabari was examined in detail through court testimonies and public statements. The case became a major story in entertainment news, and it had significant implications for Majors' professional opportunities and public image. 15. Jordan Fisher. Jordan Fisher married Ellie Woods, and the couple has been sharing their journey together through social media and public appearances. Fisher and Woods frequently post about major life moments, and their relationship has been covered by entertainment media from their engagement through their wedding and beyond. Fisher's work in television, film, and theater intersects with family updates during press cycles, and he's been open about how his marriage has influenced his perspective on career and life. Woods has been with Fisher through various stages of his career, including his work on shows like The Flash and his roles in films like Work It and To All the Boys. P.S. I Still Love You. The couple has been photographed at industry events and red carpet premieres, and they've shared moments from their relationship through social media posts that have been picked up by entertainment outlets. Fisher has talked about his wife in interviews, mentioning how she supports his work and how they navigate the challenges of balancing career demands with personal life. The couple's wedding was covered in entertainment news, and they've continued to share updates about their life together through posts and public appearances. Fisher has discussed marriage in interviews, talking about what he's learned from being in a committed partnership and how it's shaped his approach to work. Woods has been visible at events tied to Fisher's projects, and she's been part of the story as his career has expanded across different mediums. Fisher and Woods have posted about milestones like anniversaries and personal achievements, and their relationship has remained a notable aspect of his public profile. He's referenced his wife when discussing what keeps him grounded, and he's been candid about the importance of having a supportive partner in an industry that can be unpredictable. 16. Alfonso Ribeiro. Alfonso Ribeiro is married to Angela Ribeiro, and they've built a family together while he's continued his work in television and entertainment. Angela has been with Ribeiro through his hosting gigs on shows like America's Funniest Home Videos and Dancing with the Stars, and she's appeared with him at industry events and red carpet functions. The couple share children, and they've been photographed together at family-friendly events and charity functions over the years. Ribeiro has spoken about his wife in interviews, mentioning how she's been a supportive presence in his life and how they work together to raise their kids. Angela has been visible at events tied to Ribeiro's career, and she's been part of the story as he's transitioned from acting to hosting and directing. The couple has shared moments from their family life through social media, and their relationship has been noted in profiles about Ribeiro's career and personal journey. Ribeiro and Angela have maintained a relatively private family life while still being present at public events. She's been supportive of his career moves, and he's credited her with being a partner who understands the demands of the entertainment industry. Their marriage is documented through red carpet photos and social media posts, and it remains a stable element of Ribeiro's public identity. He's talked about fatherhood and marriage in interviews, and Angela has been part of those conversations as he's discussed what matters most to him outside of his professional achievements. 17. Donald Faison. Donald Faison didn't just stumble into marriage, he grew into it. The actor, best known for making audiences laugh on Scrubs and energizing movie screens in Clueless, found something far more lasting off-screen when he married Casey Cobb. Cobb, who once worked behind the scenes as Jessica Simpson's assistant, eventually became the woman Faison would call his wife, partner, and teammate in real life. Their love story didn't unfold under flashing cameras or scripted moments. It unfolded in real time, with the usual mix of work schedules, family planning, inside jokes, and everyday commitment. When they eventually tied the knot, the wedding was a Hollywood-friendly affair, complete with familiar celebrity faces and warm public attention. But what stood out wasn't the star-studded guest list. It was how natural and grounded they looked together, like two people truly comfortable sharing life under one roof. As Donald's career evolved, from sitcom stardom to voice acting in Star Wars Resistance and other projects, Cobb remained a steady presence behind the scenes. Fame can be loud, unpredictable, and emotionally draining, but Faison has often credited his marriage with helping him stay centered. He hasn't shied away from sharing that reality either. On social media and in interviews, he regularly gives small, genuine glimpses into family life, from anniversaries to birthday celebrations to chaotic parenting moments that feel a little too relatable. Fatherhood especially changed him. Donald has spoken about how having kids reshaped his priorities, making him think differently about the roles he takes, how much time he travels, and what kind of example he wants to set. And in those conversations, Cobb isn't just his wife in name. She comes across as his co-pilot in life, the one helping navigate the wild ride of work, love, and raising a family. Their relationship doesn't rely on publicity, but whenever they do step out, whether at award shows, premieres, or charity events, it's obvious they move as a unit. There's no forced posing, no awkward distance. They look like two people who've built something real and are still enjoying it. In Hollywood, where relationships sometimes feel temporary, Donald Faison and Casey Cobb have quietly worked against the odds. No huge spectacle, no drama-filled headlines, just a marriage that grew stronger while the cameras kept rolling. 18. David Oyelowo. David Oyelowo's story isn't just about becoming a great actor. It's also about building a great marriage at the same time. Long before red carpets, standing ovations, and international fame, he was simply a young actor trying to make it in the industry. And before the world knew his name, there was already one person who believed in him completely: his wife, Jessica. They met while both were chasing dreams that came with little money and a lot of uncertainty. Instead of waiting for success before committing to each other, They built their life during the struggle, which in many ways made the foundation stronger. When Oyelowo's career finally went into high gear with films like Selma, A United Kingdom, and The Midnight Sky, Jessica wasn't just watching from the sidelines. She was there, at premieres, during screenings, and through every exhausting press tour. David has never pretended that the life of an actor is easy on relationships. Traveling for months, switching emotional gears between roles, and living in high-pressure spaces can test any marriage. But time after time, he's spoken openly about how his wife's understanding, patience, and grounding energy made all the difference. According to him, she's not just emotionally supportive, she's emotionally wise. She understands the industry, but isn't consumed by it. Fatherhood also shifted his lens. Becoming a husband changed him. Becoming a father deepened him. Oyelowo has mentioned in interviews that his family shapes the type of projects he accepts and the stories he wants to tell. He's no longer choosing roles just because they're impressive. He's choosing with legacy and impact in mind. Despite his rising fame, the Oyelowos have managed to keep their family life fairly private. They appear together often, but not excessively. You see them at events, but you don't see them oversharing. The balance is intentional, and that's the quiet beauty of their relationship. It doesn't scream for attention, but it commands respect. David's career is built on powerful performances, but behind every role is a steady partnership that started long before Hollywood came calling. And that, more than anything, makes his story feel complete. 19. Justin Irvin. Justin Irvin's love story didn't begin on a movie set or at a Hollywood party. It started somewhere a lot quieter. In church. While Ashley Graham was rising into global fame as one of the most influential models and body positivity voices of her generation, Justin was carving his own lane as a filmmaker and director. When they met, it wasn't about status, fame, or image. It was about shared values, real conversation, and faith. And that foundation shows. Justin never tried to outshine Ashley, and Ashley never tried to rewrite Justin. They've always come across as two people who support each other's lanes without overlapping them. While Ashley dominates magazine covers, runway stages, and talk shows, Justin stays creative behind the lens. Their worlds blend when needed, especially when he's directed projects that include her, but neither disappears inside the other's fame. Ashley has been refreshingly open about marriage. She talks about the highs and awkward moments with equal honesty. Parenting? They've shared that too. The late-night baby duties, the emotional growth, the adjustments, none of it hidden behind influencer filters. And Justin appears often in those moments, not playing a role, just showing up as a husband and father. Their red carpet appearances don't feel staged, they feel like teamwork. Whether they're dressed up for premieres or just posting casual family updates online, the message is simple. Their relationship isn't for show, it's real life before it's media content. Justin, in particular, stands out for being deeply supportive without being invisible. He doesn't compete with Ashley's glow. He stands beside it, and she makes it very clear that his presence is not ornamental. It's essential. In a world where celebrity marriages often feel transactional, theirs feels sincere. Two people meeting early, growing together, and choosing to stay while the world watched. 20. James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones had one of the most commanding voices in history, but the most important voice in his life belonged to his wife, Cecilia Hart. Their love wasn't loud or flashy. It wasn't designed for headlines. It was the kind of relationship built on time, patience, and quiet loyalty. They met through their shared love for acting, built a family together, and grew old alongside one another as Jones became a legend in film, television, and theater. Cecilia Hart was an actress in her own right, known for her stage work and television appearances, but she never chased the spotlight the way her husband inevitably attracted it. Instead, she stood firmly beside him while he voiced Darth Vader, Mufasa, and countless other iconic characters. While his voice echoed across generations, their home life remained intentionally peaceful and private. Jones often spoke of Hart with deep warmth and respect. In interviews, he didn't describe her as just a spouse. He described her as an anchor. Acting is unpredictable. Fame comes in waves. But marriage, for them, was steady. Together, they raised their son away from the glare of celebrity culture, choosing normalcy over notoriety. Their love story wasn't splashed across tabloids, it was lived quietly, year after year. When Cecilia passed away in 2016, Jones carried her absence with dignity. And when he later passed in 2024, tributes to his life almost always included her name. Not as an afterthought, but as a chapter. They weren't just husband and wife, they were a lifetime. And in a career filled with powerful roles, James Earl Jones's greatest role was the one he never performed on a screen, the one he lived beside the woman he loved. In the end, these stories aren't just about who these men love. They're about real connections, personal choices, and partnerships that remind us that love doesn't follow one script, one look, or one set of rules.